That's the sound of a big deal. At Wayfair, that sound happens a lot. Dream sofa for half the price? Big deal. New dining table you've been eyeing for months? Big deal. Finally picking up those last few pieces and finishing that bedroom? Now that's a really big deal. Whatever your home needs, Wayfair has the selection, the savings, and over millions of 5-star reviews to back it up. Shop Wayfair.com today before someone else snags your big deal.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
If sales are the lifeblood of business, then why are so many afraid to sell? We'll talk about that in a moment.
Welcome.
Okay, here's the question.
Serious?
How are we dark horses? You know, the ones everyone is betting against, the ones they don't expect to win, place, or even show on the track, and they'll even laugh on us when we talk about trying. How do we show the world our greatness and triumph?
Come on.
Well, that's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers.
Let's go.
This is The Dark Horse Entrepreneur. My name is Tracy Brinkman.
And push it out.
Hello, my Dark Horse friends and family. Welcome back to your daily dose of making sales learning. I'm your Dark Horse host, Tracy Brinkman. And you, well, that's infinitely more important. You are a driven entrepreneur or one in the making. Either way, you're here because you're ready to start, restart, kickstart, or just start leveling up with some great marketing, personal, or business tips and results in order to build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it absolutely deserves to be. And that's why I'm here hitting you with another daily success episode on the Dark Horse Entrepreneur as we dive deep into success with actionable advice, tips, and steps designed to help you level up your game. Because as we already know, there are no shortcuts to success except for taking those little steps towards your goal every single day. Leads. We all need them. We all want them, right? They're really the lifeblood of our entrepreneurial journey, of our business. I mean, think about it. Without leads, right? You're not going to make any money. And, I think that's why so many entrepreneurs and businesses, rightfully so, treat leads as their most valuable resource. But then why do so many folks don't like to sell? Why is it that so many entrepreneurs out there avoid the sales process? I think the first part of that process needs to be internal, right? They need to know what they're selling. What exactly is it that you're selling? Maybe you think you're selling a product or a service that magically turns into revenue, that lights up your accounting software, right? And turns all those red lights green and, ooh, that's all pretty and stuff. No. You're selling a product to a person. Actually, at the end of the day, you're selling a result to the person, right? If your product or service helps them earn money, then that's what you're selling. What it is they can get as a result of using your product or service. If you're selling apparel, it's not just we have a nice shirt. It's how they'll feel, how they'll look, right? It's that experience that they're going to get as a result of wearing that piece of clothing. You're selling not just a piece of clothing, right? You're selling a lifestyle, right? So I think it's really got to be step one, right? I don't care how many leads you get. You're not going to be closing any sales until you know what it is you're selling. And then who you're selling to. And I've mentioned your tribe any number of times inside this podcast and on the Facebook group. But at the end of the day, it's not even just your tribe. You're selling to a human. You're selling to a person. You go out there and cruise so many websites and so many, landing pages, and it's like they're selling to a robot, right? So much of the natural language is gone. It's stripped away, right? Now, maybe there's a handful out there that are focused on being, thoughtful, right? They're focused on the solution, which is where I tend to resonate towards. But you need to remember the humans, right? The person that you're trying to connect with is looking for a thoughtful business. They're looking for solutions to the problems that they have yet solved, right? And that solution could be, I just want to feel good when I go outside in my clothing, right? When you come back to the piece of apparel. They're looking for people and businesses that stand for something. Now, don't get me wrong. There are plenty of people out there that will buy from the hard and the cold. I get it, right? But those kind of folks are really, they're they're going to be out there battling for the dollar, right? So you're going to be competing yourself into the ground on a price point. But if you're looking for that person for the long haul, someone you resonate with, someone that clicks with your tribe, then you want to be that thoughtful business that solves a problem and stands for something. Now, I think the next point that kind of just rolls off the tongue is how you sell, right? So if you're setting yourself up as a thoughtful, solution-oriented business that stands for something, then you'll be selling in a manner that reflects that. But if you're out there selling like you're Jordan Belfort from The Wolf of Wall Street, yeah, well, then you're probably going to be back to those hard and cold folks, right? How you sell is critical, right? I mean, I know so many businesses are out there, they're serving a higher, the board, the shareholders. But I think I'm more connecting into this podcast to those solopreneurs, those entrepreneurs, those micropreneurs that are really answering to themselves. Right now, they've got families to feed and a mortgage to pay and, car bills and what have you. So they're serving that. But again, going back to your values of your company, what it is you stand for, is definitely going to affect the leads that you bring in the door. And then how you sell to them is going to affect how far in the door they come. Now, let's flip over to the lead side, and the leads need to like the people that are doing the selling, whether that be you or you have someone doing the sales calls for you, be it a VA or someone you have in your organization. How those people treat your leads is going to impact the sales. I know this sounds like a no-brainer, but I think so many people forget this. I think one key is it would be awesome to do a follow-up call to the people that did not buy, right? And ask them, did they like their salesperson, right? And if the answer is no, then find out why. And if the answer is yes, and then find out why they didn't buy. What I think you'll find, and what I've found in some of the research I've done in the past, is that when someone doesn't buy, and it can be because they didn't like the salesperson, right? How they were talking to them. They could have been talking down to them. They could have been talking, side-eyed to them, whatever it is. The way they communicated with them, either via, visual cues or vocal cues or body language, just turned them off, and they got this, I don't like you feeling. Or they did like them, but it wasn't the right time for your product or service. Well, if they did like them, then you want to give a big thumbs up and keep them in your warm leads, your follow-up leads queue. If they didn't like them, well, then you need to get back and chat with your salesman, even if that salesman is you. And on the topic of leads, I would lead. It sounds funny. I would go with the example of treating your leads very well. Well, duh, Tracy. Of course I want to treat my leads very well. They're potential revenue. Yeah, no, I want to go past that. I want you to go to the point where you're treating a lead so well that they're referring other people to you, even though they haven't bought yet. Right? So go out there, engage with them, contact them every other week or whatever timing makes sense for you. Get to know them, keep notes. Hey, how's the family? How's this? How are the kids? Right? It says, and then obviously you want to try and bring them into the fold. But even if you don't bring them in the fold, still build that connection, right? So that they understand who you are, what it is you do, what it is you offer. So when they run across somebody, they could be a salesman for you and send you referrals. Here's another way that you can build that connection, and you can build it more in a group setting, and you can call this, I don't know, what do we want to call this? The dark horse cause factor, right? Let me give you an example. When I lived in Germany way back when, we had this amazing baker in this little town we lived in. This little town probably had, I don't want to under-exaggerate, 300 people maybe? And it was connected by a piece of farmland to another little town of another 300 people. And our butcher and our baker and our grocer serviced both these localities. And what the baker did is, like, on Saturday mornings, right probably about between 10 and noon, they would have extra baked goods there, and they would welcome anyone in the community to come hang out and chitty chat and enjoy some of the baked goods for free. Right? It didn't matter who you were. You could just have been driving by and see everybody collecting around. And sometimes the crowds would get so big that we were blocking the entire street. There'd be, 50, 75, maybe 100 people there at a time. Now, mind you, you got two little communities of 600, right? That's a lot of people. But the key was this baker was doing more than just, showing off their wares. Obviously, they were, giving their goods away for free, and they were selling them as well. Like, people would, buy them and take them home. But they were bonding with the community, right? They were building that connection. I think you, as a digital entrepreneur, I'm going to make the assumption that, especially in these 2020 COVID times, you're doing a lot of your things digitally. You could bring your community together into a group, hosting a digital event where everyone just kind of hangs out and chitty chats. Maybe you have some questions to build the engagement, but build that community where people can come to, even if they haven't purchased from you, right? Build that connection so that they can think of you when their time to utilize a service like you offer or a product like you offer. When that time comes, you're the first person they think of because you have built that connection. And if they find someone in their sphere of influence that needs your product or service, they'll send them to you. And the last two things I want to do a quick mention here is lead quality and quantity. I think every lead is equal, right? So the lead quality is really about how suited are you to fulfill the need of that lead. And if you're not suited to fulfill that need, maybe you need to have a network of folks. And actually, I would encourage you to have a network of folks that could service that need, right? It's not the quality of the lead, right? Either they're going to buy from you, or they're ready to buy from you, or they're not today. They may be ready tomorrow. They may be ready in 30 days. They may be ready in a year. They're still a quality lead. They might not just be a quality lead for you right now. All right. So I think the quality of a lead is kind of a myth. All leads are created equal. All right. It's just maybe you need to build a process to continue to nurture that lead until they are ready. And then I think the last one is the quantity. And quite often, everyone's like, oh, if I just get more leads. Well, if you have some leads now and you're going through some of the things I've mentioned here already, I think you'll find you probably have enough leads. Because if you get in that ka-chunka kind of mentality, I get 1 lead, 2 leads, 3 leads, bam, sale. 1 lead, 2 leads, 3 leads, bam, sale, right? And I'm going to be rich. Well, then you're going to stop thinking of these people as humans, as people with solutions to, with problems to solve, and, products that you are going to give to them and sell to them. They're going to enrich their world in one form or another. Remember, they're people. So refine your business down to help the people that you connect with, and to continue to help them until they're ready to connect with you on a financial basis. All right. And then what you do, you rinse and you repeat. You just keep doing it over and over and over again. All right, my Dark Horse friends and family, that wraps up yet another amazing week here at the Dark Horse HQ. So I want to know what you think. How are we doing? Are you liking these daily episodes, or you prefer I maybe do one long episode? Let me know. Shoot me an email, Tracy at darkhorseschooling.com, and let me know what you think. All right. So I know you want to keep getting all the, in the meantime, right? While I'm still doing them on a daily basis, I know you want to keep getting all these daily success tips and tidbits and advice that knowledge I've been dropping on you, right? So be sure you go on down there, hit that subscribe button. And while you're down there, be so kind as to drop us a 5-star rating, leave us some kind words in the review. Heck, leave us some words of constructive criticism. I'm good with that too. And then if you want to connect on a more personal basis, come over and hang out with us at the Dark Horse Tribe Facebook group. Go to facebook.com, type in Dark Horse Tribe in the search bar, and come on over and hang out with us. For some reason that's not working for you, go to your favorite web browser, Type in darkhorseschooling.com/darkhorsetribe, all one word. Press enter and it'll take you right there. Look forward to meeting you in the group. All right. You get out there. You run your race. You get your results and then let me hear about them. Seriously, email me. I already gave you the email address. And then until next week, think successfully and take action.
Thank you for listening to the Dark Horse Entrepreneur Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
Check us out at www.darkhorseschooling.com.
All right.
My name is Tracy Brinkman.